Okay, so Puppy Love has just hit Prime Video. And, to be honest, this was a filler film, right? There was something else, but it fell through. So I needed a film for the pod. So, yeah, I checked out Puppy Love, people. It is directed by Nick Fabiano and Richard Allen Reid. Reid also co-writes with Greg Glienna, Peter Stass, Kirsten Guenther, and Dan Scheinkman. It is produced by Jason Mooring and Michael Phillip. It's executive produced by Richard Allen Reid, Jonah Purty, Josh H. Etting, and Brian R. Etting. It's associate produced by Christopher Campbell Orrock. Co-produced by Dan Catt and Dan Scheinkman. Costa Vassos also supervises. Music was from Ian Livingstone. Cinematography is Stephen Chandler Whitehead. Lauren Nicolette Stewart and Suzanne Spangler edit the piece. Judy Lee and Barbara J. McCarthy were on casting duties. Olga Duvoist was production design. Adrian Trakier, art direction. Set decoration is Brooke Gang and Haley Sawcook. Olga Barsky is costume design. Hair and makeup, we've got Devan Adams, Lisa Burke, Shauna Carverth, Piana Lisa, and Sarah Swain. Our cast, well, Nicole Matthew is played by Lucy Hale. Her mother, Diane, is played by Jane Seymour. We have got her Nicole's best friend Shay is played by Christine Lee. We've then got Max Stevenson, played by Grant Gustin. His best friend Sid is played by Nor Davis. Okay, so then there's Hunter Forstini, played by Alexandro Miro. Harper. Oh, yes, Harper is Nicole's sister, actually. Harper's played by Corey Woods. There's Dr. Hurt, played by Michael Hitchcock. Naomi, played by Sarah Peguro. Alistair, played by Ali Carr. Blossom, played by Dolores Drake. Sterling, played by Mark Goudet. There's Hank, played by Santa Tom Kleiner. Carlos, played by Carlos Rodriguez. Stacy, played by Stacy Duran, played by Henrietta Johnson. Dr. Kane, played by Nimet Kanji. Lauren, the dog yoga person, played by Rachel Risen. The pharmacist, played by DJ Musner. Yeah, that's probably our main cast, really. The gist of the story is this. After a disastrous first date, Nicole and Max vow to lose each other's numbers until their dogs find a love match. Hilariously mismatched, Nicole and Max are forced to become responsible co-parents but end up finding love themselves. Yeah, that's the gist, right? Boy, what to say? what to say, right? It's a really odd film, right? It's a really odd film because, firstly, right, you have these two people, and it's like, oh, wait, what does it say again? It says hilariously mismatched Nicole and Max, right? Are they mismatched? Right? That's the thing. Because what you do is you paint two people at the far ends of the spectrum, right? Nicole, right, we're meant to believe that she is an artist, also a set dresser. She dresses houses for selling. She's very successful and good at it. But in her own life, she leaves food, throws food away, but the bin's not even shut. The food's hanging out and it's been there for a few weeks. When she's eating, mouth open, crumbs all over the place. This is what we're meant to believe about this person. When, if you were to leave food like that, firstly, there'd be mold on it, right? There'd be flies and there'd be mold. So obviously, that food had not been sitting there for that long, right? There'd be a smell too, right? You wouldn't be able to walk into your motherfucking house without being hit by that smell. So it's just like, who are we kidding with that? Then it's just all the crumbs. Like, there's crumbs. Trying to act like, oh, no one even knows. Right. And if she's meant to be this pig of an eater, this messy eater, nothing on her. Right? Nothing on her. Always looking fresh and you know what I mean? Then Max. So he doesn't leave the house. Doesn't leave the house. He's got this anxiety. And we're told he's a collector. He's a collector. He's got a lightsaber, a cigar that was supposedly handled by fuck the Godfather dude, Marlon Brando, right? Which there's no real proof it was. Some Pez dispenser. It's just like, I've seen, you know, 5-year-olds with more of a collection than Max supposedly has, right? He's got a few items. What are we saying here? And the social anxiety thing, it's never really like, oh, he was an anxious kid and his girlfriend cheated on him and he got COVID. Okay. Still, why aren't you leaving your house? Because the thing, he's got a job. So it's made out that he used to go into the office, but we still don't know why he doesn't go into the office, right? It's bizarre. They've set these character archetypes, but they're just not fleshed out. They're very one-dimensional, right? It is so bizarre, right? It's just, where you've just got nothing substantial here for a plot, right? And then he's told he should get a dog, and he just goes and gets a dog. Right? He enters the dog pound with no issue. That's the thing. It's very subjective where he has issues, because we see him go into some places and it doesn't seem to be, any trouble. So it's just like, what actually is happening here? You know, gets a dog, jumps on social media straight, and obviously straight away he's got a date, right? Gets a date, and then they make the date go horribly wrong. And it's horribly wrong in a way where this ain't happening, right? No one's gonna stuff food in someone else's face, especially right these days, because everyone's conscious about food allergies, and you know, so you'd be like, yo, can you eat this? Are you allergic to it? Like there'd be something, right? So it's just it was very bizarre, and it's ridiculous, but not in a funny way. Like there's some films that are just so ridiculous, and you're just like, oh my days, and you're just laughing your head off. This weren't that. I mean, maybe it is for you. Definitely it wasn't for me, right? So you have them, but then we were like, oh, the dogs have become attacked. Yeah, that's not a thing. It's not a thing. Like they're treating the animals like they're humans. And listen, don't get me wrong. I do not believe in being mean to animals or anything like that. I had a dog growing up. That dog got treated real motherfucking well. Mad walks, ate the best food. You know what I mean? But what I mean is they're putting these human traits on the dogs. It's bizarre. It's very fucking bizarre. Like the prenatal yoga for the dog, right? And the weird thing about that was that they just wanted to use the word bitch. That's what it just seemed, right? That they were just like, oh, yeah, let's just say bitch a lot, right? That will be so cool. It just weird. It was so fucking weird, right? It was just a bizarre thing. It was bizarre. Like the hunter guy that she's working with, another weird situation. Another weird situation, right? Because it's just like, oh, we're saying that he might be drunk or something, and then he just the way he's at, like, come on now. If someone's drunk, they're not acting like that. You know, it's just the dog walker woman and be like, oh, you a breed. Like, what the fuck was that? I don't even know what that was. They're just throwing all of these things, being like, oh, this could be funny. This could be funny. Let's do this. Instead of just working on a really good story, they just kind of, it seems like you're throwing things at the wall, right? It's always, there's meant to be this sad thing behind these type of characters, like, you know, a parent has died, right? Someone's being cheated on. It's always the way. And there's always something like someone's, oh, you're building up all of these walls, but for the viewer, none of these things are real clear, right? None of these things are real clear, but the resolution is always real easy and simple, but it comes after everything looks like it's going fine, and then there's this weird moment and a flare up. They say the most awful things to each other, which in real life you can never walk that shit back. No one's forgiving that shit, but it's just like, oh well. And you're just scratching your head like, what just happened here? Where are we going? What are we doing? Oh man, It really does seem that Lucy Hale just has one type of film that she does. It's very yeah, it's very weird, you know? Like you've got the Flash, oh Barry Allen, going from that to this. Whew. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. This definitely was not. It wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. And yeah, I wouldn't have watched it. But as I said, I needed something for the for the pods. You know what I mean? Oh, and I wish. Oh man, some days you're just like, why did that shit fall through? Why? What are you doing to me, world? Now, if you enjoy, look, we looked at a Hale film recently, which brings me to you. I think that was last week, right? I believe. If you like that, if you like the hating game, you know, two of her films, the other Zoe, right? If those films for you about fate, then you will enjoy Puppy Love. That's the big thing here, right? There's a, you know, obviously there's an audience for this type of film, this saccharine, this, you know, basic by numbers story, essentially. Like there's no nuance. It's not a Before Sunrise, right? We're not dealing with complex characters at all, right? It's just the dating advice is like, is this the 70s? You know what I mean? It's just one of them ones, man. But yeah, you might like that, and that's fine. And if you do like that kind of thing, then you're going to enjoy Puppy Love, right? It's on Prime Video. So, boom, fill your boots, people. Fill your boots.